I'm Olivia. I am a wildlife and travel photographer. My goal is to inspire people to give a shit.
I'm Pat. Spent 10 years in the Marine Corps. I have strong views on conservation and the U.S. Constitution.
We will discuss topics like yoga,
How to gut a deer and not fuck up your meat.
orgasmic meditation,
Full body orgasms.
life after divorce.
Life after death.
Why the fuck do we still use plastic bags?
Why can't everyone learn guitar in school?
What do you look for in the perfect photo?
What's in my food?
What's in my mouth?
We might also dabble in a little bit of motorcycles. That's right. She rides a Harley, bitches. While our upbringings drastically differed,
Our ability to communicate and be open-minded has allowed us to strengthen our relationship. So this podcast is here for you to broaden your horizons, possibly change your perspective on a topic. So we hope you enjoy listening to The Hunter and Hippie.
Hey guys, welcome to episode 12 of The Hunter and Hippie. Today we're going to be discussing some dieting tips that we've learned along the way and what we utilize and how they're a little bit contrasting, but we agree for the most part. And I think I'm
For the most part.
going to steal your thunder with the this is a topic that we actually give a shit about.
Yeah. My sister texted me and she, out of the blue, and was like, how have you guys not had an episode on diet yet? So we thought that we would give some easy tips that have stuck with us over the course of our adult life to stay healthy, to keep your weight, or in Pat's case, to hopefully gain weight.
The fuck you saying?
You're the one that calls yourself skinny and says that that's an insult if you have weight gaining issues. So like when you call me chunky
Chunky?
and then I called you skinny,
Kind of fit, kind of fat.
you're not fat at all.
No.
So these are easy, attainable rules that I follow, and you can take whatever you want from what we share and go with it. You could disregard the whole thing, but you know, you're here to hear what we have to say. Like Pat said, we give a shit about this particular topic. Us being together, that created a whole insight on the lack of knowledge that some people have on food and what the big pharmaceutical companies and food corporations put in our food.
We should start by saying neither one of us are nutritionists, and you know everything that we're going to talk about, we're just kind of skimming over it. We're not going to go into any grave detail on anything because you can spend 6 hours talking about just carbohydrates. You can spend.
I'm not going to.
You can spend 3 days just talking about the sprays that are in our food.
I could talk about
Right.
that
Yeah.
for a while.
Gee, I knew that. Hippie.
Hey, I
Um,
don't like poison in my food. I'm
Then
sorry.
kill your own food and you don't have to worry about it.
Hey, I'm working on that with you.
I know. And I'm working on it with like reading labels and shit and seeing what the ingredients are.
I know.
So going back, we're going to be just discussing diet tips and how we've changed our diets throughout our lives. I've gone through different phases of life that required different diets at that time. I spent some time deployed overseas in the Marine Corps where we did not have the resources to eat healthy. We were provided meal ready to eats that are dog food, basically.
That's what that means, MRE.
Wow.
I didn't know.
It says it on the bag.
I've never seen one.
Ever? I
Never.
got them in the garage.
Meal ready to eat?
Yeah.
MRE.
MRE. Meal ready to eat.
Wow. See, you taught me something.
Right? I'm the dumb one. She's smart. I'm a caveman. She's hot.
It's fucking hot in here.
It's hot as fuck in here. Can you turn the AC on or
No,
will it
it's
drown out
loud.
there? Fuck me.
Later.
So, yes. And thank you for listening. So I've gone from being force-fed shit food, like literally the worst of the worst. The meal ready to eats, they're high in calorie. One meal is 2,000 calories. They don't expire. So I don't know what preservatives are in it. I mean, good on you. You know, that Midland, Texas company that created it, because it's a good moneymaker for them. So I spent the beginning of my career in the Marine Corps eating MREs that are terrible for you, and then got a little bit better with some chow hall food that was fit for human consumption. And then I got linked up with a really good friend of mine, George Lockhart, in about 2007. He has a very successful nutrition company. While he was on active duty, I got linked up with him in Quantico, and he was really the first person that I saw eat, quote, healthy. He was all about nutrient timing, give your body what it needs when it needs it. Don't put water in your gas tank. Make sure that everything you're eating is a whole food and it's organic and it's not processed and you're getting the purest form of whatever the nutritional value of the food is. I was introduced to that, and it really opened my eyes to getting away from the calories in, calories out mindset of it didn't matter what I ate as long as I was in a calorie surplus. I was going to be fine because my activity was going to burn off all those calories. If I ate 10,000 calories a day, likely I was burning around 8,500 calories. So I was still in a surplus, and I was happy with that. It's probably why I was 235 pounds. Now I'm 195, 200 pounds, and I eat far better than I ever have in my life because of you and your hippiness that has slowly bled onto me. And I see you blush with proud moments when I stop and read labels and go, oh, and I put back something that has canola oil or vegetable oil.
Yeah, it's like watching your kid go out on his own and retain the information that has been shared. Yes, it is. It's a proud moment.
And then as I transitioned out of the Marine Corps, I brought forward a lot of the tips and tricks from George and the guys there at the Martial Arts Center in Quantico, and was able to adapt that into my lifestyle where I strayed away from store-bought meats and I was eating solely what I was killing and sticking to big game, sticking to complex carbohydrates and getting things that were beneficial to me for the goal that I had. And the goal that I had after the Marine Corps was just maintain the weight that I had. But in doing that, I learned to cut out your sugars, stop using artificial flavoring, cut out high fructose corn syrup, and went to more organic methods.
And then you went back to shit food?
Yeah.
Okay.
2000.
Just wanted to make sure.
That was like 2012, 2013.
Okay.
I go through phases where I'm like, I'll just eat whatever I want and I'll feel fine.
You're lucky.
And then I don't. I feel
yeah.
like shit. After separating from the Marine Corps, I had a lot of injuries just from punches, kicks, falls, explosions, shrapnel. But there was a lot of inflammation in my knee to the point where it hurt to walk. And I always attributed it to a pre-existing injury. And it's like, all right, just power through it. That's going to be the rest of your life. Just deal with it. And it wasn't until you and I got together and we started cooking for each other. And I started realizing the ingredients that you were putting in. And at the time, it didn't really affect me. I was like, whatever. Like, it's an organic olive oil. Big deal. What's the difference between that and the other one? Well, then you tell me of how it's processed and cold pressed versus boiled. So switching to good oils and healthy fats and high protein. The majority of our meals include high protein, high fat, low carb. When I switched to these healthier methods, the inflammation in my knees gone. If you did like a fluid x-ray of my body, I don't know if they have that or what it's even called.
If you did like a thermogram.
Yeah, there you go.
A thermogram reads like the heat and inflammation in your body.
Right. So this thermogram would tell you 10 years ago that my whole body's full of inflammation. And now I feel a little bit from time to time, but it's usually like after a hard, strenuous workout or hard activity that I feel it. Got her.
What that look was for.
So now that this inflammation's gone, I'm like, holy shit, this is actually legitimate.
Weird.
Like, right? You can actually ride.
Yep.
So it's just been beneficial for me to see all this unfold in life just by simply changing the food that I'm eating. The one thing I would say is don't expect it to be an overnight thing. You're not going to eat an organic steak and then have organic butter on it with organic onion and then magically feel great the next day. It's a long process.
Well, the one thing that I always think of with something like you're about to say, like it's not going to happen overnight.
Right.
If you have an autoimmune disease, it took 10 years, 15 years to get to that point. So it could potentially take 15 years to undo what happened, because what happened to you didn't happen overnight. It was daily decisions, bad decisions that you made towards your body and your health that got you to where you are. So immediately wanting something to be hunky-dory and you lost all this weight, it's not going to happen that way. I just want to preface that before I go into anything. It's very important to just stay focused, to know that you'll see a difference. Like with Pat, he wasn't changing his diet because he wanted his knee to hurt. He
Right.
started dating me, and I said, well, this is what I'm making. I'm a very stubborn woman, and I'm okay with that because what I'm doing in my daily decisions is because it's what makes my body happiest. And I have been active like my whole life. Like people, oh yeah, well, it's easy for you. I played soccer, tennis. I was active. My family were not overweight, but I did have a stint of chubbiness from about the age of 17 to like 20. I quit soccer and I kept eating the same way. All the highly processed foods like Pop-Tarts, toaster strudels, Eggo waffles, PB&Js, like highly processed inflammatory foods with really bad oils. And that is probably the number one thing if you want to just help your body and your future cut out shit oils. To give you a little bit of background, it doesn't sound like much when you say it like weight wise. It was like maybe 30, 40 pounds overweight. But if you stop smiling, if you look at my jean size, I think I was like right now I'm a 26 and then I was like a 29-30. So like that's quite a bit in the waist. Like it was all held in my stomach. If
Yeah,
you
it
look at
was.
this awful picture that Pat likes to hover over my head because he took a picture of it somewhere in the world. I'm not telling you where it is.
Jacob's Gallery.
Shut the hell up. What was I saying? I just thought of people going in there and being like, ha ha.
Yeah.
So what I see in those pictures during that time frame, I look so puffy, so swollen. And the biggest area with bad oils, inflammatory foods, is you're swollen in your face. And I mean, my hands were very chunky. And then obviously you're going to have fat accumulation in different areas depending on your body type, where you hold it. You might hold it in your legs. I held it in mainly like my low belly and my legs and my arms, everywhere. It was bad.
I don't know. I'm thinking about that photo, and you're just like SpongeBob. Like he was just square in a pink shirt.
I
And I
hate
don't know
you.
if it's because you were like leaned back in the photo.
Oh yeah, it was
But
bad.
it's a terrible angle. It was below you.
And he put it in
And you're
a
like,
book. He put it in a fucking, my dad, like whoever made this book said, yes, let's put this picture of your family in the book. Oh, wait, look at Olivia. She looks awful. Let's do it. Let's just do
Right.
it. So anyway, I'm going to get off that tangent. So how I got out of it, I literally just started cleaning up my diet. I cut out different carbs. I was just more mindful on how much bread I ate because bread is so good, but it's unnecessary. It's got nothing in there for you to benefit. Cut out bread. Probably the quickest, most satisfying thing. If you're, significantly overweight, you could lose like 10 pounds in the first week. Your body does not want to be overweight. Like your body wants to be in a good condition so that you can survive. Survival is the number one driving force for us to do anything. So cutting out simple things like that. But when I wrote down my notes for this episode, I really just wanted to give you guys small, actionable things. We had a young girl, she was like probably 19, 20, worked for us, and she didn't have the best skin. She was gaining weight, and she comes in from her lunch break, and she's like, I don't know what to do. She's like, you're like, significantly older than me. Your skin's so healthy, la la la. What do I do? And the funny part is that in that moment, she had just gone on her lunch break and came back with a package of powdered donuts. And I said, well, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to read the ingredients on the back of this package. And I said, and if you can't pronounce it, if it's got 15 syllables for one word, it looks like a German word that's like, a foot long. I said, it's probably bad.
A German footlong?
A German word that is a foot long. You know how they have like God in a Strasse, like two words are
God's sausage.
Okay. Strasse means street. So back to what I was saying. If you cannot pronounce the ingredients on the package, it's most likely a chemical, some kind of weird compound that they made in a lab. And I don't know if you know this, but in the ingredients, the first ingredient is the most used.
Right, the most prominent.
The most prominent. So the funny thing is when you buy like, oh, what was it? I think it was like Heinz ketchup. The first ingredient I think was corn syrup. I think they got better recently.
I think it's just sugar.
Yeah. And so if you read the ingredients in the order, that is what's used the most. So if you're buying something that's, say, tomato sauce and the first ingredient is sugar, where the hell are the tomatoes? Or the first ingredient is high fructose corn syrup, like put it back. Do not buy it. So if you can't pronounce the ingredients, that's bad. But if you also want to know like what it is, look it up. So the one that I looked up was aluminum dioxide.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's weird. Like aluminum being in powdered donuts. So I look it up and she's next to me and it says a form of a metal commonly found in house products like paint thinner. And I could just hear her jaw hit the floor.
All right.
The US, and thank you, Bobby Kennedy, for taking some action and cleaning up our food system, but we are one of the most, well, we're like one of the sickest countries. The food industries have no regulation for putting this shit in our food. So they're putting these fillers because it's cutting costs. And in the end, it's making us sick, which then makes the pharmaceutical companies billions of dollars on us continuing to be sick. They do not want us to be healthy. So this is quick, actionable things that you can do to help yourself because the food industry here will not help you.
Mhm.
Hopefully in the future it will change, but there are things that are in the US foods that have been banned in countries like all in Europe for 15 years, or they've never been allowed in food.
Mhm.
And you look at like the same brand and the ingredients of a European version versus an American version, there's like 3 extra lines of shit ingredients that are added into the American version. So just, it's cynical, but it's true. They do not want us healthy. So if I ever see the word natural on a box, I'm like, nope. Like, I know what they're doing. They're trying to greenwash and make you feel like, and they use like green and things that look more earthy. And then you look and it's the same shit ingredients. Like, oh, you just repackaged to try to convince me that you give a shit about my health. So if you cannot pronounce the ingredients, stay away from them. Also, Google them and look them up because it might be something you're like, oh, but I love these. But if you look it up and then it says like freaking found in paint thinner, it might drive you to not want to eat it anymore.
Right. We go to the butcher shop for our dog food, and one of the butchers there, he is a former chef, and he was telling me that in order to get the stamp for organic on your packaging when you're selling stuff at the grocery store, it doesn't mean that they're not using pesticides. It just means they have to use specific pesticides outlined by the Organic Association or whatever it is in order to get that little, looks like a recycling logo with a little tree and it says GMO free organic.
Yeah, no, those are two
And
separate.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm talking about the stamps.
Yeah, the
So-
GMO one is separate from organic because GMO just means it's not genetically modified
Right.
and it can still be sprayed with all the awful pesticides.
So be careful when you're going to the store and buying an organic brand. Find out where it's sourced from and then see how they grow their food. A reputable company will explain the harvesting process. And there's usually a backstory from like 1908 of their entire bloodline that's been on the same farm and they're,
Yep.
selling corn to whoever.
Okay, so there's this story that just jumps out at me, Siete chips.
Yeah.
Sorry, Siete, I loved you. And then you got into Walmart.
Mhm.
And anytime that there's something in Walmart, it makes me question the integrity of the brand. Because logically, how are you going to fulfill an order for Walmart if you are a small family-owned business and you only use stuff that's sourced locally?
Right.
How are you going to be able to package 12 billion bags of tortilla chips? Just like Mark Sisson sold Primal Kitchen to Kraft. And I immediately was like, well, there goes the brand that I went to. I bought all their dressings, all the stuff because I trusted him. But as soon as he went and sold off to a big conglomerate, what happens? Like the quality is going to go down because in the end, the corporations only really want to see what their bottom line is. They want to see their profit margins go up. So I shop at the Bee's Knees mostly. That's a place in town. If you guys have never been there, it's right next to Crow Peak Brewing. She's an amazing woman. Her team, they're so friendly. The whole place, it's like a tough shed, and it reminds me of shopping in Europe. You just feel, I feel special there. I feel like going to go grocery shopping isn't this big stressful thing because I'm going to see my friends that work there. So if you're local, check out the Bee's Knees. There's also Good Earth. Good Earth is right on Main Street. They have a plethora of stuff. But anytime that I do see a brand that I loved go to bigger stores, it makes me start to question them. And obviously, you can't win everything. Things that I definitely avoid in my food is high fructose corn syrup in general. And the reason why corn is a big ingredient in many things. Corn is easy to grow. There's a lot of subsidies and grants or whatever the term is for farmers because they want you to grow corn, soy, all the things that are cheap and easy to add into any food. So a lot of the corn actually has in the seed pesticides. Like they've been so genetically modified that they have pesticide inside the actual vegetable before it even grows.
Not all.
Not all, no.
But
But getting like heritage corn,
right.
that's like the original, and it's not all yellow. It's got different colored
Tricolored
kernels
corn.
or whatever. So I avoid high fructose corn syrup because corn is, honestly, it's not that great of a vegetable. And Pat hates when I say that because I don't eat corn. And he gets so sad. He's like, I love corn.
I did.
Yeah.
I don't eat it anymore.
I mean, I'm sure we could find, heritage or heirloom corn, but it's just not something I eat. Just like knowing which vegetables you should not eat raw. And there's a reason behind that. Like plants can't move and run away if an animal comes to eat it. So the way that a lot of plants, including the fruit and veggies that we eat, they have either thorns, pokey little hairs, things that make it unpleasant for animals to eat. And the other thing that a lot of vegetables that we eat, they have toxins in them. That is another way, another line of defense. So when you don't cook things like spinach, broccoli, humans, we are not ruminants. We don't have 2 or more stomachs to help us ferment and break down the vegetables. So that allows animals more leeway to eat that stuff because their stomachs, their 3-5 stomachs, are breaking it down where it's digestible. So I don't know about you, but when you eat a salad, do you kind of get a stomach ache after? So knowing your body, knowing what works, what doesn't is key. Another thing that we were taught in the 90s was fat is bad.
Yeah.
Bacon fat, like avoid it, and margarine, cut out butter, eat
Lard.
margarine.
No lard.
We're doing low fat milk because people are afraid of fat. Well, we'll make cheese out of this fat and then we'll color it orange, and that is the American cheese that you peel that little plastic strip and you get all those slices.
Yeah.
I call it government cheese. I will not touch it because it's gross.
She just got goosebumps.
I did?
Yeah.
Oh.
You're all
I just like there are so many things that we think, oh, like Lunchables. Oh, well, it's great for my kid. It's manageable. I used to eat them in school, but they're awful for you.
And I think back when we ate them, the ingredients were different.
Yeah.
Like, Haley will open a Lunchable now, and like the meat is slimy.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell is on this meat? And if a kid doesn't eat it and the kid doesn't like it, then there's probably something wrong with it.
Yeah. She has not had one here.
No.
No, she has not
She hasn't had one in a while.
And it's amazing. As you start to make these small adjustments, your taste buds will adapt.
Yeah.
His daughter, I watched her crave sugary things and wanted certain foods. And now she's craving electrolytes and she's eating burgers. And she's only 6. Her palate has already adapted to not craving those additives and those sugars. And it's like a refined sugar. It's not even a real whole raw sugar.
Right.
It's been so broken down and so bleached and processed that it's not even what it should be. Like you can still have sugar. I add honey to stuff. Like, that's my sugar. All of these things are small things that you can do. And please, like, if you need any help throughout this process, I love watching people's palates and watch them shed weight and see their energy levels and their depression disappear. I love that. So back to the fats, I went on a tangent on like replacing fat with government cheese and whatever. Cook with fats. Fats are good. The ones that I cook with the most are butter. I buy this big like Amish roll. It's like a brick. Like it could be a weapon, I think. I use tallow, lard, avocado oil. He's not a big fan. And I've also heard and read that a lot of the avocado oils have been blended with other oils. So obviously then it's not a pure avocado oil. And the reason why avocado oil was considered one of the better oils is it had a higher temp tolerance.
Burn off rate.
So when things like olive oil, if you cook with olive oil, which we do sometimes, and I hate doing it like when we're out of stuff, um, avocado oil is better to finish things with because it has such a low tolerance for heat that it becomes carcinogenic in your body if you cook at a high heat. So cook with good fats. We'll even reuse our bacon grease to oil vegetables that night. I know that organic foods and better foods for you are going to cost more money. The mindset that I've had, because I spend hundreds of dollars a week on groceries, but the mindset that I have around that is I get to feed myself nutritious foods and I am paying now for my health and I'm not paying for hospital bills later.
And you're also supporting a local business that naturally sources their food. And when I say naturally, I don't mean they're natural, but it's grown here in the Black
a lot
Hills.
of it, yeah.
The meat comes from a local
Montana,
a local ranch or a butcher shop. It's not coming in shit grade food.
From a CAFO, confined animal feedlot.
Right. Well, you think of like if I get a squeezed tube of ground beef from Walmart, right? The quality of it, you can feel it, you can smell it, you can see the difference between that and ground beef from a butcher shop. You don't have to cut out beef. You don't have to cut out chicken. Just see where it's coming from and make sure that
upgrade the quality of the food. We have a system for particularly meat in this country where the animal grew up on a farm and then it spent the last month, 3 months on a CAFO, like on a confined animal feed operation. And my analogy with that, they're like, yeah, but it was grass fed. Okay, so I eat organic. I eat all the elk and venison that he's hunted. If I spent the last 3 months of my life eating only McDonald's and fast food, would I look the same?
No.
Would I be as healthy as I am now?
No, you would look like you did in that pink shirt.
Shut up.
SpongeBob.
So fuck off. The one that he's talking about, the company that I've bought meat, they came to my house and delivered like a quarter cow. And it was like a car full of their 5 kids. And they had driven across the border, like right on the other side in Montana, and they delivered it here. And I love that. We need to know our farmers. And if you can't physically know them, know the person that buys from the farmer. We have cut out our connection between our food so much that people are completely mortified at the thought of harvesting your own chickens.
Right.
It's like, but you go to the grocery store and you see 50 lining a shelf packaged in plastic that who knows how long they've been sitting there. And you're fine picking that up and buying that. You don't know the quality of life that chicken had, yet you're bothered that somebody is killing their chickens humanely. I know exactly what that chicken ate its whole life. So knowing the food that you're eating that animal's life. So if it went to a slaughterhouse and it was shoved through a chute that smells like blood and death and they hear its herd, like if it's a cow, they're smart animals. If the cow is listening to its friends getting freaking killed right in front of it, do you think the cortisol levels of that animal are not going to get completely pumped through the meat? Quality of life is a huge part in your meat choices. Quality meat is the way to go. And there's also ways of saving money and not worrying about organic as much. If the plant that you're getting has like a harder skin, a barrier from all the pesticides that they douse them with, you have a better chance of not getting all the pesticides in something like a lemon, lime, orange, banana.
Cucumber.
But things like a soft berry, just do yourself a favor and just spend a little bit extra. You can also, I don't know how true this is, you might have to look it up yourself, but if you have non-organic fruit, you can soak it in vinegar and baking soda. You can get a ton out. We did it the other day, and
Pretty cool.
a freaking caterpillar crawled out of our raspberry. But you can let them soak. It was like 30 or 40 minutes that you can let non-organic fruit soak. And according to this, is some of the pesticides are drawn out.
Well, you can see it immediately when it reacts with the baking soda, the foaming and fizzing. You can physically see all like the barrier of the strawberries cling to the bowl, and like all the little spines that are on strawberries that we're just accustomed
Not
to.
the seeds, but
just like the little hairs. They all cling to the side of the bowl, and then majority of that stuff is the protection of the strawberries. Protection is, its vine with its big leaf, and then the little spines on the fruit as it's growing.
Mm-hmm.
And then once it ripens, then you can bite into those and they're not hard.
Mm-hmm.
Well, just the baking soda and vinegar, you can see the barriers dissipate. So it's like little chemical reaction.
Yeah,
it's pretty badass.
It was pretty fascinating. I've never done it before, and it was just last week. And I'm like, Pat, he's in the garage, and I'm like shouting for him. I'm like, get in here. And I just roll or slide the bowl over to him, and he's like, oh, like, ew.
Worms.
Yeah, like little green caterpillars, which, I mean, protein, whatever. But if I can get some of like the different, parasites and other things, because, you think about the food, it's taken a probably really long haul to get to your house. Like very long, if some of them are in Mexico, think of them being pulled from the vine, then they're probably briefly cleaned, then they're, hauled off to a packaging, and then they're on this dirty conveyor belt and they're being put into separate cartons, and then they're shipped across the country in a dusty, nasty semi truck, and then they're put probably in another box waiting to go out on the shelf. So there's like a long process of getting your said strawberry. So I didn't really clean them much. I would rinse them, but then after that one experience with the caterpillar, I was like, all right.
Time now.
Yeah, I'm like, all right. So I bought like a 5-gallon big jug of vinegar, and I think I have three of them now because I'm going to be using it. I mean, vinegar is great to clean with everything, but that's a whole other topic about cleaning or something. The thing with pesticides, if you are using them, if you're using Roundup in your yard, this is the only thing that I will firmly and very aggressively say, knock it the fuck off. Stop using it. Like, there are so many studies, and Monsanto have paid billions, with the B, billions of dollars towards people with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma who have used their product, and there is a direct proof that it came from their product. So they have paid people billions of dollars to keep their mouth shut and not let it get out into the world. It's out in the world, but how do people still use it? I'm blown away by it.
Right.
So please, if you have to get rid of a dandelion, even though it's a healing plant, or you see another broadleaf, quote unquote, weed, there are other ways to do it. And the most effective, it's very satisfying. All you have to do is get the same little pumpy thing that you do for Roundup, those little cans with the pressure and the little nozzle.
Sprayer?
Yeah, the sprayer. Fill it with vinegar, dish soap, and water.
What's your rations on that?
I honestly just use vinegar, and it fries the shit out of them in like within half an hour.
Yeah.
But the soap, there's something with the soap. My mom, I wouldn't say it's an HOA, but her neighbors were like, you need to spray your weeds. And she's like, I will. I have my vinegar. And so she goes out, and it was within an hour with her vinegar and soap, and she's spraying the center of the plant. So like think the guts, like the root, like from above. So you shoot it on the center of the plant, and she goes, oh my God, I went back and they're black, burnt to a crisp. And somebody was like, what did you do? And so there are ways that your grandma, your great grandma did things, go back to that.
Yeah.
Go back to that.
Don't put butter in your radiator, though. It's not a stop leak.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Who did that? Old people? Or your
People back in the
family?
day.
Oh, okay.
Pepper and butter in the radiator because they think it's stop leak.
Oh. Well, I mean, there are things that worked, there are things that didn't. Smoking cigarettes, they used to think that it didn't, cause any problems.
Well, it
And
used to be just tobacco rolled in paper.
yeah, no.
Now it's all the carcinogens. Like I was telling you, I quit chewing Copenhagen, and I chewed Copenhagen in the first place because it was just tobacco. And then they started using formaldehyde as a preservative. I'm sure there's pesticides on the tobacco plants.
Oh, yeah. What you were just saying about like it's probably sprayed with stuff. I didn't just decide to like start eating really healthy because I thought I was better than everybody. I have like skin reactions. An old friend said that I have skin like a redhead. Like when I had emergency surgery and they did that chloroprep stuff, that like brown stuff to like clean your skin off before surgery.
Betadine?
They called it chloroprep.
Yeah.
But yes, I broke out in hives across my entire stomach, exactly where it was wiped on my skin. In high school, if I sprayed perfume on, which I did a lot, and scented lotions,
Cucumber melon.
like Bath and Body Works. No, I want to say it was Sweet Pea. But when I would do that, I remember it was like my junior final. I was in a sign language play and I was the main character, and I had eczema so bad that in the creases of my elbow, they were splitting. Like it was scabs and I could hardly move my arms. And not only is that environment induced, but it's also like stress induced and diet. There are reasons why I have made this decision. It's because my body gets real mad. And Pat's seen it.
Yeah.
He's seen me break out across my jawline and my neck in hives, like so suddenly. I just looked at him and I'm like, what's happening? Because my face was hot. It was starting to tingle. And he's like, you are bright red. And then all of a sudden I got little bumps all over my skin. Like I'm allergic to all kinds of topical things. Amoxicillin, broke out in hives, found out that was bad. It's not only that I want to eat healthy, it's something that gives me quality of life.
Yeah. And if it can seem overwhelming, you're at the grocery store and there's all this availability for all this shit, literally shit food. But, look at the top shelf. And it's not to say, oh, it's top shelf, but just look at the top shelf and you'll usually find the organic shit up there.
Yep.
And
the perimeter.
And if you can't do a hard switch from your processed government cheese and sprayed foods and poor healthy eating habits, then start in moderation.
Yeah.
Start off small and then just increase over time. And then you'll get to the point where you're eating extremely healthy. And then in moderation, you can have a bowl of ice cream and it won't kill you. You could have a chocolate bar, whatever.
Like I still snack.
I'm a fat kid. I'll eat all kinds of foods.
Well, yeah. And like iron stomach. So like, something that he can get away with, I look at and I can already feel the stomach ache later. There's like a reconditioning in the mind too, because there was a time where I frickin' loved those cinnamon Pop-Tarts. Loved them.
Hell yeah. Those are bomb.
And
brown sugar cinnamon?
So good.
Oh my God.
But now when I look at them, there is not an ounce of desire to even open the box.
No, it's enriched, bleached flour.
Yeah, filler foods. I think of feedlot animals. Like with the crap that we're being fed, especially fast food, it is ways to keep the human species fed in a cheap way. It's like a feedlot for animals. That's what I view it as. I see the line of people at the fast food and I just think of the line of animals lined up at the trough.
Going back real quick to what George taught me, giving your body what it needs when it needs it isn't just a nutrient timing thing for performance. If you made a comment earlier, if you're hungry, eat. Well, that's if you're in a maintenance phase. But if you have a set goal of, I want to gain weight, I'm trying to build muscle, I'm trying to build size, then break it up and don't have those 3 large meals all day. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner only. Have breakfast, then a snack, then lunch, then a snack, then dinner, then a snack before bed. And
That
that'll,
sounds like
it
way too
sounds like a
much
lot, but I'm
eating.
not talking a full course meal. Have an apple with a slice of cheese, cook chicken on the grill or smoke it and then refrigerate it and then eat it the next day. The shit's
That does
bomb.
not sound like a snack. We have very different eating patterns.
So give your body what it needs when it needs it. And if you own a Maserati and it requires 91 octane, you're not going to put vegetable oil in your gas tank.
That's funny you went to cars because I thought of the same analogy. Like, if you put shit gas in your car, it's not going to run as great.
Right. And that's what I was taught very early on was don't put water in your gas tank. It's not going to give your car what it needs in order to operate.
Yeah,
So
but there are some times where you think you're hungry, but you really haven't had enough water.
what I was getting at is if you're waiting until you're hungry to eat, you've waited too long. Your body has now begun to eat itself. All your nutrients are depleted out of your stomach lining. All your food is digested or
And it's
processed.
storing fat, thinking you're
Right.
starving, all
So
that.
if you're trying to lose the weight, you want to keep your metabolism running as long as humanly possible.
Or you could just fast. If my stomach's off, which it's depends on the time of month, but there's a lot of times where my stomach's just bloated, just feel like I was on like a roller coaster. I just eat bone broth. Like it's
Yeah.
very nutritious, great in fats, great for your gut health. You had it the other night
Yeah.
and you said, wow, that's actually good.
I did.
I put a lot of black pepper because that's a great anti-inflammatory spice, some raw garlic, and then added a tablespoon or 2 or 3 of apple cider vinegar because I love me some vinegar. But like, what he's saying about eating, yeah, if you start your morning off with a bagel, you're starting it off with carbs, not the greatest kind of energy for your body. So if you go hungry and you're starting to get hungry, then your body's going to start burning what's easiest, and that is the sugars and everything. But if you start your morning with like a high fat diet, you're training your body to burn fat as fuel. So then you might notice that you're a lot leaner, you're a lot just healthier looking. Like, I hate to admit this, but I am not good about going to the gym. But I don't have to go to the gym to lose weight or maintain my weight because the food that I eat does that for me. Now, going to the gym obviously helps with muscle gain and bone density health and all of the other good things about going and being active.
Mhm.
But I don't have to go to the gym to stay in the same gene size that I'm in.
Some people are going to throw the argument of genetics, and genetics do play a little role. I mean, I've been a size 34 waist my entire life since I was 16. I have my dad's genes.
Yep.
Look at him now. He's a size 34 waist.
That reminds me of doing blood work. If you have the extra $1,000 to invest in your health, I highly recommend you do it. I did a full panel blood work, my DNA, methylation, all that, to find out that I can't detox. So the reason why I might get eczema and all the other things is because I don't sweat to get rid of a lot of the heavy metals and even the pesticides. Like, the things that most people, like Pat, like, he doesn't have an issue eating some of the foods that he eats, but I would have a big issue. I'd start getting a rash on my leg or something. And that's because I know my DNA, I know what's going on internally that I can supplement and hopefully work with and improve on. One of the things that to improve on me not being able to detox is I just invested in a sauna, and that'll be a way to force my body in a nice way to detox. So maybe I'll stop getting eczema and different rashes because the skin is a way to get rid of that stuff. So it's pretty fascinating. So the blood work gives you an outline. You might be like, I'm doing everything, but I'm still not losing the weight. There are things that you might not know about yourself, and you might be so unmotivated because you've tried it all. But if you do that blood work, there might be something underlying that you had no idea was going on.
Right.
And then you can start supplementing and working with it through, I like Eastern medicine more, acupuncture and lymphatic drainage. Hillary Hammond is amazing in town for that. She's in Chris Ormseth's office. So blood work, if you can do it, do it.
So on the blood work, don't just blindly start supplementing with testosterone. There's a lot of side effects that can come from that, and a lot of issues that will arise, that organ issues, your liver, your kidneys, your heart will enlarge, all these crazy things that you don't think about when you're 25, 30 years
You're like,
old.
I want to bulk up.
Yeah, I just want to be as big as humanly possible. Well, that's great when you're 25, but when you hit 40, you realize that what you did back then has now damaged your testosterone levels, because you have spiked your testosterone so high as a young adult that
You don't
your
naturally.
body does not produce it anymore.
Yep.
And now you're going to be required testosterone for the remainder of your life.
Yeah. Blood work overall, I think, is just going to give you a roadmap to know exactly where you are as an individual on your health journey, on what your body absorbs and what it doesn't, what you need to supplement, what you don't. That's like phase 2, but you might be at phase 1, which is, wait, why is high fructose corn syrup bad? Or why do I not want to put food coloring in my stuff or avoid my kids from having food coloring? So the first steps are understand and read the labels. And if you don't know what the word is, Google it and you will potentially be mortified. The moral of all of what we're saying is simplify your foods so that they're as whole as they were intended for us to eat.
Right. Think about what you're drinking too, like carbonated beverages. That's a modified molecule added to water in order to create a sensation while you drink it. My dad used to work for Pepsi. He retired from Pepsi. And I used to slam sodas like Pepsi, Mountain Dew, Dr. Pepper, Limpton Brisk iced teas. I'd kill a 30-pack cube in like a day, no problem. I learned when I was skinny fat that by cutting out as much beer, I still drink beer. Don't get me wrong, I love beer, but I don't drink nearly as much of it as I used to. You know, I used to drink a 12-pack every day or two, and now I might have 2 beers every month or two.
Yeah, I mean, and I also gave him major shit. He had a box of Coors Light in the fridge, and I looked it up. I'm like, highest level of glyphosate in beer. And was Coors Light number 1? All the big beer companies, they're going to be mass sprayed crops. You got to think about it.
Can you explain what glyphosate is to the listeners?
Glyphosate is what's in pesticides. Glyphosate is what causes non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, like all kinds of cancer. Glyphosate is a awful thing that we still use and we still sell. It's in Roundup. It's not all of that. It's actually, I want to say the chemical term,
Agent Orange.
from Agent Orange in the war in Vietnam, the deforestation project that we did on that poor country. Like, we used this substance that we are spraying on our food. So it's all possible. Like he said, take small steps, because trying to do it all, it's going to lead you to failure. So if you took one thing from it, what would you say that one thing is?
Be active by not waiting for the time to be right.
So
just do
start.
it. Just get after it. Go do it.
If I had to give one thing of advice, it would be read the label. I've been in my sister's house and then she sees me reading it and she's like, what's in it? If you start knowing this stuff, don't start just giving this information out. Trust me, I know this through my own experience. I did it. My ex did it a lot. Just giving this information without anybody showing any sign of interest. So if you can just know your stuff and be the example through your actions and through your obvious appearance and how will improve, your skin will clear up, all of that, you'll have family and friends asking you, what are you doing differently? Like, I want in.
Yeah. You want these muscles? I can't even do it seriously.
No, please don't.
If you want to feel better, learn how to hunt, kill your own food, learn how to garden, learn how to forage. I just bought a book and we just ate mushrooms that I picked myself in the front yard.
It was one of those moments that you were talking about when I was watching and I'm just smiling like, look at this motherfucker.
Barefoot.
He's barefoot, which you never did. He's barefoot walking through the forest with a bin of mushrooms. I was literally like just beaming, this war junkie hippie.
Yeah, they were really good too. My one tip for everyone would be to just do something. If you're not dieting and you're not exercising, then do something. Don't sit at home and complain about being overweight or complain about being full of inflammation. Get outside. Just go for a walk.
Yeah.
Oh, I have kids. Put them in a stroller and walk with them, or make them walk.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
You're not torturing your kids. Fuck, my dad used to say, don't come home until it's dark. And that's what we did. It was fun. And it's funny because I will look at, I just thought of this right now. Everyone I grew up with, all of us are fit.
Oh, really?
Every single one of us. Nobody's fat.
I mean, you do tend to surround yourself with,
Yeah,
like-minded
but
individuals.
we were just all super active.
Yeah.
We were outside all the time, our whole life.
Different world now.
Yeah, it's wild.
So my tip, read labels, understand what's on the ingredients. Google is your friend in this case. There are apps also. One that I used to use when I was just getting into this, it's called Think Dirty. We hope that this was encouraging and not super scary, daunting. It was a lot of information, and if you want more information in a specific area, we are more than happy to go into even more detail. But we want to thank you for just listening and supporting us. We have a lot of fun talking about shit together and bringing some of our friends and other people that we look up to on to the show to hopefully share some information that might get you inspired to be just a better person.
Yeah, and if our podcast has inspired you to want to come on to the show and you have a topic that you'd like to discuss, just shoot us an email. That'll be in the show notes, and then we'll entertain any and all questions and offers and all that stuff.
Can I request for one?
What?
I would really like to know somebody that is in the cloud seeding world, because this is one that I could just go off on.
I might have a guy for you.
You what? Might have a guy for me? Oh, I'm so excited. Anyway. Thank you for listening. If you think that this information could be helpful to a loved one who doesn't know where to start, please share it with them. That is the best way to get all of our shows and our different episodes out there. It's to, spread the love, spread the knowledge. If you like the show, like, subscribe, and thank you again.
Yeah, thanks for listening.